Okay. Okay, it looks like we're live. Hello, everybody. This is Beth Ienni, licensed therapist and food addiction recovery coach, and I'm here with Liz. So, welcome, Liz.
Thank you. Hi.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Liz is a client and she's still active with us. She started in February. Actually, it was 6 months to the day, February 26th. So it's like her half birthday in recovery. So happy half birthday in recovery, Liz.
Hey, thank you.
I'm very, very excited to celebrate with you. And thanks for being a good sport because we're live. Woohoo! I love it. And so, yeah, I know a lot of people are stuck, they're struggling, they've tried everything, and they want to know that real people who are like them can get better. And so I always like to start with, could you give us an idea of what it was like before we met so that they can get an idea that, yeah, you were actually in the same place they are now?
Well, before, I had a lot of anxiety, joint pain, brain fog. Um, I was eating a lot of junk food all the time, candy, cookies, you name it. And of course, I was overweight. So this one day, I think it was Valentine's Day, was like the breaking point for me. I finally said enough is enough. I had gotten like 3 boxes of candy and pretty much ate all 3 boxes, and it was just, I was just so upset with myself. And I came across on Facebook, you had a webinar going on, and I clicked on and listened, and it really made a lot of sense. It really hit home for me. And I thought, what the heck, let me call this lady and see, can she help me here? Because I just felt out of control. And I'm really glad I did. It's been wonderful.
Well, yeah, and I want to get to that in a minute because obviously we're here to celebrate all the good stuff. And I just want to flesh out for people a little bit because I know a lot of people can relate to, and I know we didn't talk about this right before, but could you tell us a little bit also about the stage of life you're in? Because I think a lot of people are at that place where they're thinking about their future and they have a life transition coming up, but they're not sure of their health or where they're going. Can you fill us in a little bit about that
I,
too?
Absolutely. I just retired. It's been almost a year now. I retired last year, August 31st, 2018. And, it was just like a new beginning for me. I'd spent 34 years in the government service, and I just didn't want to spend this time in my life doing the same thing. I was like, I would describe myself as like the hamster in the wheel, just going round and round and getting nowhere. And I really wanted my health to be better than it ever was. And this was the thing that I think that finally put me on that road. And I feel like I'm living my best life ever. I've been retired for a year and I love it. And I'm healthy.
Well, yeah, and I love that. And I think when I remember when we first met, I think you were a little frustrated because you had this idea that you were going to have the energy and the motivation to do some things in your area and maybe visit some places, do some things, and it just wasn't quite happening.
It wasn't quite happening. I had all these goals. I wanted to, remodel the kitchen, and that was a big thing that I wanted to do. And I kept putting it off and kept putting it off. And I'm not sure why. I guess when I was in the food, procrastination just seemed to be part of my agenda. That I just didn't really feel like dealing with things. And once I got out of that brain fog or whatever, that the food had me in, I just felt more motivated to really start doing things. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember that I remember your process clearly. And so yeah, let's talk about where you are now. And just to be super clear, I always like to start with the basics. So you were out of control with food, and I'm assuming now you're feeling in control with your food, right?
I'm feeling very much in control. I don't even have the food thoughts. I used to always think about what I was going to eat or what I was going to snack on, or every time I went to the grocery store, I'd always get extra things that I shouldn't be getting. I don't have that problem at all. I go to the grocery store, get what I'm supposed to get out of there, you know, and I don't sit up and think about, sweets and all that like I used to.
Well, yeah, and that's a lot right there. I think in recovery we get used to that, don't we? It's just like, hey, the problem is removed, and I just go to the grocery store, get my food, come home, and I just want to celebrate with you that that's really huge because a lot of people, they've tried and failed 100 diets. They can stick with something for a few days, maybe if they're lucky, a week or two, and then the whole thing falls apart. And that is part of the endless frustration of food addiction, is that no matter how hard we try, and I say we because I'm a recovered food addict, no matter how hard we try, it just never works. We blame ourselves. We're so frustrated. And now you just don't have that issue, which is really amazing.
Yeah, it's a mind change too. I mean, once you get your food under control, it's like a physiological thing. Your body is really under control because it's like you're craving stuff. You wasn't even thinking about it. All of a sudden, I want a chocolate chip cookie or something. Like, where'd that come from? But once you get that part under control, and it's more biology than in the mind, because we can change our ways of thinking. I was thinking about how we're so used to celebrating everything with food. And I've been able to go to some birthday parties and not eat cake and ice cream because I'm not there for the cake or ice cream. I'm there for the birthday girl or the birthday boy, and I can be in these situations with not feeling like I'm left out. It's fine. I don't have to have the cake and ice cream. I'm not here for that. I'm here to celebrate this person. And so once we get it out of our minds as well, we don't have to celebrate with food. We celebrate each other just because we love each other, we like each other or whatever. So that's been a big thing for me too, that I can go to these celebrations or whatever and still not indulge in the sweets or whatever.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you're not sitting there white knuckling and feeling deprived, because to me that's not recovery. That's just pain and suffering, and
that's right.
Need more of that. But I like what you were saying. I think what I heard is, and I'm pretty big on this, is that first we deal with the physical and the mental follows. But if you try to do it backwards and try to force the mental to change, it just gets stuck and it doesn't work. So you really crack the code with us, Liz, that you deal with the physical first, then the mind is happy to follow. You get into a new routine, and it builds momentum, and now you've got your body and your mind in sync, and you just have a whole different relationship with food.
Exactly.
So I love that. And and so you talked about anxiety more than once. So I think I think a lot of people, they go to therapy for years, they're talking about their problems, and they don't realize there is a physical component to anxiety. If you think about it, if you drink a coffee all day, you're going to be more anxious, right?
That's
so
true.
When you remove the junk from your brain is a lot calmer. So I think, like we talked about with the food addiction itself, once you get the body chemistry and the brain chemistry under control, the mind is happy to follow. I think that's what you experienced.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I didn't even realize, that's what was going on. It wasn't until I, removed the junk food, so to speak, and got fully detoxed from it, that I started feeling so much calmer. Just things didn't bother me. I used to just be like, always had to be doing something. I learned to relax and take care of myself for a while, because I was big on helping everybody else, doing for everybody else. I have to take care of Liz too. And that getting all that junk food out of my system sort of helped me, calm down. I remember in the first 30 days, I was very tired. I was very fatigued. And I just took naps in the middle of the day. If you'd called me this time of day, I'd be asleep. It was crazy, but it was great. I just started seeing myself change in so many different ways, that it was just amazing to me. That would be the thing.
Sorry?
That would be the thing, to remove the junk food out of my system.
Yeah. And again, as a licensed therapist for 20 years, I'm never I never gets old. I love hearing that you can get better from mental health issues super quickly when you deal with underlying biological issues. And while I love, look, hey, I'm sure therapists love talking to people week after week for years. We love our clients, but isn't it better just to see really fast results? And so,
Yeah.
If there's a way to hack, that's a new expression these days, hack. If you could come up with a hack for anxiety, a hack for brain fog, a hack for pain, let's do it, right?
Let's do it. Yeah.
And so you kind of took the expressway to feeling more calm. And yes, you did bring up the detox. There is a detox period. And that's why I always tell people, hey, if you're really serious about recovery, you're probably going to need to take a few naps here and there at the beginning, or maybe a lot of naps. But the fact is, all of that's temporary, because what happens is you start to get your energy back. And I remember you saying, I'm into exercising and all this stuff. So is that true that you actually had more energy after you got over the initial detox period?
I did. I got more energy. I did start working out more. Not a ton, but it really didn't require it, because I was losing weight every month. Not a lot of weight, but weight was coming off steadily, and yeah.
Well, yeah, we definitely don't promote exercise. I just meant that a lot of people are frustrated that they don't even have energy to do anything. They don't have energy to exercise. They don't have energy to do anything. And I feel like now you actually have a normal amount of energy, as opposed to.
Yeah, I do. I think when it comes to exercise, I find it quite boring. So it's probably why I don't run to the gym all the time, because it's like, I don't know. But yeah, I have energy to do other things,
Well, that's all we care about. I mean, honestly, I do think exercise is overrated as far as food addiction and weight loss. The fact is that you don't have to kill yourself at the gym and all that stuff. I think a lot of people just want to have the option of, if I feel like exercising, great, I have that energy. If I don't feel like it, that's fine. I don't need to over-exercise to lose weight. I don't need to obsess about counting my steps, or, I don't need to go to all that extra trouble just to lose weight and feel healthy. So actually, I don't promote a ton of exercise. I just think it's nice to feel like you have the option to do it if you want to. And as far as pain and so forth, we were just talking a little bit about how food really impacts pain levels. Yeah. Tell us where you are with that.
Well, I did it. I've been like in the obese category before, and I had knee pain, foot pain, back pain, and I just assumed it was the weight. I'd lost weight, on many occasions, like a lot of people. But the pain, the joint pain, didn't really necessarily go away with the weight loss. So I'm thinking it was the junk food that was kind of causing maybe inflammation and those things that may hurt our joints or whatever. So, but now, I don't have those. I haven't even thought about that type of pain, because I haven't had it. It's been great.
Well, that's really good news. And that's why before we do these things, I have to ask people, now, remember what it was like, because some people just forget that they used to have pain every day.
Yeah. Because you remember how great it is now. You don't want to remember the bad old days.
Yeah, but for a lot of people, they really need to hear that that pain that's possibly even ruining the quality of their life, that can be reversed or reduced without strong medications. These are important things for people to know. And being out of control with food is basically makes it impossible to utilize all the latest research on the connection between food and inflammation. You can have a lot of head knowledge about it, but if you can't execute that because you're out of control, it doesn't even matter if you know it, because you can't control your food.
True. So true.
So yeah, I always tell people, like, listen up, because if you're in a lot of pain, you don't have to lose 100 pounds to really feel like a new person. That's a really important point, I think. And so, we also talked about less brain fog, but we were joking around that we always have a little brain fog left.
We still got a little bit left, but it's less. It's a lot less.
Yeah, right. So we're happy about a lot less,
I'm
right?
happy about that.
Yeah. I get a little foggy too. Sometimes I'm like, Amy, wake up, wake up. But
But you know that one of the things I noticed I really don't do anymore. I could come into a room and say, "What was I coming in here for?" Now that really hasn't happened in a long. I haven't had that. I don't know when. So that's good.
well, yes, that's very good. And also, I love the fact that, and I don't need you to tell like all your business because I know we're on live and all this stuff, but it seems like you've made better decisions about your self-care, your life, your relationships. It just seems like your brain is working better.
Yes, yes, and there's some people you have to put out of your life because they're toxic and they're never going to change. Um, some things you're just going to say, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. This is not healthy for me. Doesn't work for me. I guess when I was in the food, maybe I put up with a lot of nonsense that I didn't need to. And I was like, no, I don't, it all goes back to the self-care. When you feel good about yourself and you love yourself and care about yourself, you're not going to put up with a lot of nonsense in your life. Everything is going to be what's good for you. It's all right to be selfish. I think as women, we're taught we have to be these caregivers and give and do and do and do and put ourselves last. And it's really, really backwards teaching. And that's another thing I've learned. It's okay that, hey, I'm number one. It's cool. Don't apologize for, taking care of number one first.
And isn't it true that the irony is, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm pretty sure you've said something like this, or I know a lot of clients have, is that isn't it true that you actually can do better at taking care of the people who really need your input if
Absolutely.
you are actually putting yourself first?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, there are people who are depending on us to think clearly and to have energy.
Right.
Yeah, we can't be there for those people that we really are obligated to some degree if we've already wasted all of our energy on a bunch of junk that we shouldn't have been doing.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, and so yeah, and I've actually seen other really nice things. I don't know if we didn't talk about this one, and I wish we had earlier, but it seems like you've sort of blossomed in different ways. Can you think of other things that you'd like to share with us? Just things like ahas or insights or anything?
I was always I still am somewhat introverted, but I do feel like I've kind of blossomed a little. I do more. I had a friend who invited me to come out to an amphitheater to hear some symphonic music with a group of people. I was like, oh, I don't want to. But, then I said, I need to get out and, be amongst people or whatever. So, yeah, I'm starting to, go out more, do more social things with folks that I was kind of hesitant to do before for whatever reason. I think when you're, not feeling good about yourself, you don't want to be around folks because you don't feel pretty or whatever, it is. So yeah, I think I was telling you guys in a meeting one time, I've had the best summer, not necessarily doing anything, just chilling like Bob Dylan. It's been great. No anxiety. I had the kitchen remodeled. It was chaos around here for like 3 weeks. I was fine with it. I was like, cool. This is going to be at the end of this. I'm going to have a kitchen of my dreams. And it's worth the mess, because it's all going to come back together eventually. And so, but I wouldn't have thought that way before. It would really just upset me that, everything's all a mess or whatever. And I'm just not that person that just worries about everything. It's going to work out. Even if it doesn't work out, it's still going to work out eventually, So yeah, it's just like a different mindset. I guess being, free from all the toxins in my body has just sort of freed me somehow.
Yep. And I just like to highlight that, food is a mind altering substance. And it goes both ways. I know there are some, even though I'm in recovery and I no longer have to battle all with all this junk stuff, the fact is some foods actually work so well for my brain chemistry that I can tell the difference between different breakfasts, and I thought to myself this morning, okay, I'm going to talk to Liz live or, either way, live recorded. I got to be on my A game. So I picked a breakfast that I knew would give me the best brain chemistry. And that's the kind of stuff you can do in recovery. When you really understand the effect food has on your brain, you can even boost your brain functioning and your mood and your serenity and all that stuff on purpose. But just removing a bunch of stuff is a huge change. And I feel like not only have you blossomed in terms of you're more calm, you just seem more spiritual, you just seem more positive. I mean, you just seem like a different person.
Well, so part of the program is, getting in touch with your higher power. And, that's something I kind of lost along the way. And that was the main thing that got me through those first 30 days is my meditation. Every morning, every evening, I did my meditation, 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening, sometimes longer. And it just, at night, sometimes I would just sort of put myself to sleep with it. And that was something that really helped my brain to calm down, or helped me in overall calm down. Was my meditation was a big part, and I still do it to this day. I have never stopped my daily meditation.
Yep. So a lot of addicts will all nod their head with you that, we have to deal with the physical stuff. We have to deal with the mental stuff. And a lot of addicts will agree with you that this is an opportunity to really expand your spiritual life. And I think a lot of people have said to me in recovery that is maybe even the most important thing to them, because, for a lot of us, spirituality is really everything. And you lose touch with that when you self-medicate and you're numb and you're dull. So, for a lot of people, what's really sad is that not only are they killing themselves physically with food, and they're killing their emotions, or they're killing their relationships, they're killing their finances, but they're literally killing their own spirituality. It's like a spiritual suicide.
Yep.
And a lot of us are so used to being spiritually dead that we don't even realize it's a thing until it stops.
Yes.
So anyway, is there anything else you want to share about your journey before we start wrapping up?
No, I'm just still on it, and I'm just going to continue on it. This is a lifelong thing. I mean, people ask me about my diet. I'm like, no, this is not a diet. This is just my lifelong commitment to me. It's.
I love it. Commitment to you. I love it. Yeah, exactly. And so I always, the last thing I always ask people is, do you have any words of wisdom or advice for people who think there's just no way that they can be like you? There's no way they can get better.
Well, a lot of people, believe it or not, they know about food addiction. I think it's on some level, they know that they're addict to whatever they're eating. And it really is their time to come to this juncture in life. I mean, I had my rock bottom moment, so to speak, and everybody has to get to that point at some time in their life. You can't force it. I can tell you all day, if you get rid of the sugar, you'll be fine. They know it, but they're not ready yet. So when it's your time, when you finally come to that realization, give us a call. Call Ienni. She can help.
Yeah. And of course,
we'll be here.
I love it. But of course, I feel obligated to point out that it's not just sugar. Here's the thing, and this is where I think, I agree with you 1,000%, that if you're not ready, it doesn't matter what we say. We can talk for hours. It won't matter at all if you're not ready. But if you are ready, here's where the problem comes in. If you're ready and you go to your doctor and you say, doctor, tell me how to break out of this, the doctor won't know what to tell you. If you go to your therapist, they won't know what to tell you either, because they're not trained in this. Eating disorder protocols do not apply here, generally speaking. and you go to your weight loss program. You go, you're excited. I'm going to count the things and track the things and do
Right.
and
Not at all.
and then it's not working. So I always
Right.
tell people, hey, don't beat yourself up, because it's really not that simple. And if it was, honestly, if it was really just sugar, I would just say, you know what, guys, stop eating sugar. You're done. You don't need any help. Just stop eating sugar. You got it. We're done. Right? Let's just call it a day. But unfortunately, people, they're trying some people are ready and they're trying so hard, but they don't have enough information. They think, well, all I'll do is I'll stop eating my binge foods. I'll stop eating sugar. I'll stop eating, potato chips. They've got it in their head that if they just stop these things, it's all going to go away. And what I always say is, I'm sorry, it is more complicated than that. And you're only shooting yourself in the foot if you think it's that simple. So my heart goes out to people who are ready and don't have the right information. So that's one of the reasons why I'm always on Facebook and I'm always promoting, because the fact is that the information doesn't seem to be out there. So while you do have to be ready, you also need to take that readiness, and then you have to get the right help that's specific for food addiction,
right?
And not just try to white knuckle it on your own. It's unnecessary pain, and it probably won't work, because here a lot of people, they're giving up sugar, they're giving up their favorite foods, and they're like, I did it, and then it doesn't work. And they're just like, why isn't this working? I gave up everything I love. Why isn't this working? And so because I was there for a long, long time, and I tried all the things and I talked to all the experts, so I had to figure out for myself to crack the code. And now I'm excited to share that with other people and clients. And so that is one of the reasons why I'm so excited, because there is actually a step-by-step way to approach this. And that's why I always say, hey, if you would like to learn more, I will put information below here somewhere, or somewhere on this page that you're looking at. I will post all the information you need to contact us if you're interested. We do offer free calls to anyone who actually is interested in professional help today. And by professional, I mean comprehensive, high-level service. We're not just another, go to your meeting and weigh in and all that. This is comprehensive. It's in depth. We're going to take you from where you are now to where you want to be. And it's serious stuff. So if you're actually serious and you want that kind of help, it's available. And so any last words before we sign off?
No, I think we said it all.
Yes, I think we did. All right.
And I'll see you in the next 6 months.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, so now I'm going to get back to you, Liz.
Yeah, I
know. Now you're on record.
I know. All right.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. I'm going to sign off.
All right.